Hey, welcome to Wheels Wednesday, and I hope I can do this with the cat here. Although his tail is flinching and he's looking at a bird, so maybe he'll go and play with the bird. What we're talking about today is cars that aren't Mattel, basically, I guess I should say. Cars that you probably looked over because you're like, man, I'm too good for that. I'm gonna tell you what though, you're missing out on some pretty interesting cars out there. So I got three different companies here. Turbo wheels from Dollar Tree, the Adventure wheels, or Adventure Force from, well, it's actually Maisto normally, but it's a 2023 Walmart. So let's talk about that one first. There goes my cat, good. All right, so Walmart Adventure Force, it's usually a Maisto car. This one right here, it doesn't seem to have a name. Sometimes they have names on these, at least they used to, but it'll probably be on the bottom. It is a Maisto car. So this is a very interesting car. I like the huge block engine coming out the top. So let's take a look at it. These are about 97 cents. And the reason they're cheaper, and honestly, they are cheaper, not just the price of them, but the quality is a little bit cheaper too, because you're not going to get the clear layer of plastic for the windshields. And the reason they do that is so they can keep you from not having to see an interior. So this particular one is called 71 Roadkill GT. By Maisto. There's no year given on the bottom. Okay, and there's a lot less paint. Actually, there's almost no paint on this. The only thing you see painted is the orange on the back right here, the orange on the sides right here. It looks very what am I trying to say, like the Road Warrior. It's got like dirt wheels on the back but street wheels on the front, which is also very interesting. Or at least it looks like dirt wheels. And then of course that black opaque plastic, you're like, well, I can't see the interior. That's because you won't. They're saving by having one less layer of material, I guess I could say. Now this is supposed to be die cast, but I can barely tell that this right here is metal. If it is, it's hard to distinguish it from the plastic. So we got a plastic layer on the bottom, which ironically looks like the same thing as this plastic layer, but you can tell it's two different plastic layers. That's the block engine and this, and it may be the same as this, but I can't tell. I really can't tell because it also looks like it's separated right here. No, I guess it is connected. So the grill is connected to this piece, whereas the block engine and this probably are one piece of plastic being pressed up against the top. There is a black piece, unless that's painted. That's what I'm trying to figure out. If that's, because see right there's a little bit of blue where it may not, the paint may not have reached. So my suspicion is maybe it's painted black on blue. I don't know. But you're only going to get about 3 layers of materials all together. So there's the metal rivet. And there's the rivet in the back coming from the, I guess, the top. All right, so let's see, does this roll? Because honestly, it rolls pretty nicely, actually. So if you have certain vehicles that you see that you like, pick them up. Don't be like, oh, well, that's not a Hot Wheels. Are you really wanting to get rich off your Hot Wheel cars? I've never done that. I never thought I'm going to make, actually, I take that back. When I was in high school, Chip and I used to go running around trying to find Matchbox cars because we were collecting them and keeping them in package and putting them on our walls for wallpaper. All right, so let's take a look at this next vehicle, which I thought was really interesting. I saw this, it was $1.49 or something like that at Walmart. It was definitely more expensive. When I picked it up, I was overwhelmed by how extremely light this is. I'm completely confused. I'm like, who is this? Samurai Racers Circuit Samurai diecast. I'm like, really? Because it's okay, this is heavier and this is more expensive. This is more expensive than a Hot Wheels car. It must be for the tampo they put on it, but the tampos are kind of, in my opinion, blurry. They're all kind of the same. They look like somebody's tattoos. Here's the 10 different cars on the back, I guess. I mean, well, it looks like 12, but there are 2 5-packs. It is by 2024 Boley Corp. Not suitable for children under 3, probably because they all break it and need it. Yeah, I picked out one of the better ones because there's a whole lot of white ones and they all look the same to me. There was a dark blue one I was kind of thinking about, but I saw this and I was like, you know, that looks kind of like Naruto mixed with Dragon Ball Z guy. I'm trying to think. So out of the package, it's super light. It's like, you can tell they only made it out of 2 pieces of material pretty much. Even the bottom, see how those things are made? This is the way that cheap cars were made when I was a kid. And I saw this. I saw it when I was looking at it in the store. They have these little hooks in there to hold on to the wheels. And they do give a little bit of spring action to them, which was normal. But if you pop that off, which has happened before, like pop it off that little hook, good luck getting it back on, because it ain't gonna happen. It just ain't gonna happen. All right, this plastic that makes the windows, if it's not opaque, it's pretty darn close, because I can't see anything under the screen at all. Like, I can't see through it. If I held it up to the sun, no, it's opaque, but it's like a brownish, very amber opaque, which is kind of weird because we usually just see black opaque. So we got this layer of black, the top layer, and I'm trying to figure out, is this, I guess this is metal. There's so much paint on it though. So there's the tampo on this side, the tampo on top, tampo on this side. So honestly, it's more like just a piece of art. There's not really, there's no tail lights. There's not even, like, the paint is so thick, I guess from just maybe the tampo wrap on it, that it doesn't give you like any definition to the headlights or the grill, or it's just really weird. It's almost like they made a generic car. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's an okay roller, but I feel like since it's so light, it's kind of like losing its energy. You know, when you roll a heavier car, it keeps more energy because it's got more weight. I mean, if you know anything about physics, you know that the relationship between weight and energy is undeniable. This one, as you push it, I can push it with the same amount of power, but it's just going to lose it because it's in a very, very microscopical way. It's bouncing as it goes. So I don't know if you've ever had a light car. Like when I was a kid, or when I turned 16, I had a very light car, under 2-ton car, and so the roads up here made out of sand. It made a shutterboard effect, and I could feel it in that vehicle. I have not felt it in my bigger and heavier vehicles since then. So I had to be really careful coming down here. Now, this is the interesting thing too. These are both, this is 3 die-cast cars. This is 2 die-cast cars. They're both turbo wheels. So what's the difference? I'm curious to find out why there's 2 in this pack and 3 in this pack. I would suspect that this was made earlier than this, but it's only been recently that they've been putting the actual price permanently part of the packaging, and that's not something they've been doing in the past. There's no year on here, so I can't just look at it and tell. If I go by the numbering system, this one that's got 2 cars is actually a younger number, I guess you would say. If this was like, you know, the 300s or the 36,000 comes before 53,000, that's an earlier number. So I don't know. There's no real defined years on these because, let's be honest, it's Dollar Tree. So I definitely want to see what the difference is. Why is there 2 for the same price as 3? So these 2 should be, in theory, better, but that's just hypothesis. All right, let's break them out. Okay, so right off the bat, I feel like the bottom's the metal, definitely. All right, so we got some more information here. It's Greenbrier International, a bunch of numbers. I don't see a year still. There's no name on here. It just says made in China. So I feel like the bottom is actually the metal, but I'm so not good at this. But as far as being a little bit chilly out here, this feels colder on the bottom than it does on the side. And if you look at this side, we got no interior. There's no interior whatsoever. Like, you might be thinking, where's the steering wheel at? There's not one. There's not any steering wheel, but it's got translucent plastic, which is very, very strange. So there's a layer of opaque plastic, black, with a very interesting tampo. I do dig the tampo. An amber color that you can actually see through and see there is no steering wheel or driver's seat or any seat. It's a fairly light vehicle, but it's not as, like, the lightest one I feel like I've gotten today was this one, definitely. Yeah, this one's heavier, and it's weird. It's like this, if it's die-cast, I don't know how, because it feels like it's all plastic. Very, very, very strange. Maybe it's die-casted mixed with, kind of like a Saturn car, I guess. You know, they have those dent-resistant side panels, which means plastic. Or an alloy with plastic melted into it. So the spokes, the wheels, interesting. Now here's the other one. Again, the information on the bottom. There's no years, nothing to determine what the actual years. This bottom, this one definitely looks like plastic. Oh, there's screws in there too. That's interesting. So if you, for some weird reason, thought this was the greatest car on earth and you wanted to replace it with the rubber wheels, it'd be fairly easy to get to with the screws. That's really cool in my personal opinion. All right, so on the bottom of this one, I feel like if you look at it carefully, this was like, this is plastic on the bottom, and that on top, the yellow part, definitely feels more like metal. So there is, again, no seats inside, no driver's wheel, nothing on the interior, yet they have a clear window, which is weird. So we have some clear windows in the back, or whatever the heck that is. Clear windows on the side. We got some tampos and paint, power 43. So let's see if it rolls well. I mean, it rolls pretty good. It's not bad. So these are the 2 for $1 ones. Let's compare them to the 3 for $1 ones. And why in the world do they have 2 different price points for the exact same brand? And it doesn't say Power Wheels, you know, Elite, or Power Wheels, or what is it called, Turbo Wheels. It doesn't say Turbo Wheels Super Diecast or Super Better ones, or, you know, there's no indicator as to why you're getting 2 different, you know, volumes, I guess you could say. One of the things right off the cusp is these look actually better. That's so weird. There is definitely interior. Your steering wheel and your dashboard is a little bit meh, but you definitely have seats. It's got clear. We got the green is the metal layer, tampos on it. We also have blue, which appears to be the 3rd layer. So there's 1, 2, 3 layers on this. The wheels are pretty cool. They're the Hurricane wheels. This one's also called Made in China, but it does give you a number on there, 9901. So compare it to, say, like this one, which is a little bit bigger looking because of the way it's made, or this one. I don't see much of a difference in the quality, other than the fact that it does have seats on the inside. Let's see if that's consistent. It sounds rather hollow, but it rolls well. Now let's look at this color one right here. We have, again, you can see a steering wheel in there, and you can see that's so weird that you would think that these would be the ones without any interior stuff, and these would be the, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it doesn't make sense. The 3-pack is a little bit better quality. Maybe they're just a tad bit smaller overall, maybe, because these are bigger and bulkier. Like, you know, all these are a little bit more flat, although I could take it back on that one. These 2 are very similar, but it's really hard to explain. So we got the metal layer on top there, the blue. We got an orange translucent layer, and then we got the dark blue on the bottom, and that makes up the interior in here. Yeah, you can tell it's a definite generic one, but again, we got screws. That's cool. All right, so here we have, this one's called 9898. And there's my cat wanting to come up here and play. It's got red metal on the top, orange plastic on the bottom, and then the translucent making the windows and this side and this part. And then you can clearly see in there at the cat swishing his tail. And it's got 2 very defined seats. He's wanting to sit down, I guess, and show me how he's sitting down. It's got a steering wheel, but it doesn't really look like a steering wheel as much, but you can definitely see it. So let's gonna knock the package off here. There he is. All right, so yeah, that's really strange. These 3, they're here, and these 2, the only thing I can see difference is these actually have interior, these don't. Now, these do feel a little bit more cheap. I mean, they do kind of feel cheaper. These feel a little bit more heavy. So I will say that you're getting 2 slightly heavier vehicles instead of 3 slightly lighter vehicles, but I really can't explain the difference why there's 2 and a 3 and the same brand and everything. So we got, oops, got the wrong one. This is die-cast metal and plastic action. This is die-cast racers. This is 3 die-cast cars, die-cast racers. Die-cast metal and plastic. 2-piece, 3-piece. I can't explain it. So if there's another kind of vehicle that you can tell me about, I would love to hear about it. Another one of my favorite brands that I do, but I'm looking at cheaper things, except kind of this not as cheap as it should be. It feels cheap. But I'm trying to show you that there are other options out there in case you're like me and you're like, I love Hot Wheels, but there's got to be more. There are. And if you check my channel more often, you'll see that I definitely cover those as well, because I'm not a Hot Wheels snob. I like it all. All right, especially the ones with rubber tires. I think those are the best. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me have any kind of comments you want to put down below. Maybe you have more insight of why these 3 and these 2 cost the same. I really don't know. And of course, I'm not going to ask the people who work there because they don't have a clue. Not that they're dumb. I'm just saying they don't probably think about this stuff. They don't care. And again, this one is one of the 99-cent ones over at, or $1 ones at Walmart. And this one's the most expensive. It's more than a regular Hot Wheels, and yet I feel like it should be one of these. It must be the Tampo is the only thing I can think of. But let me know if you've heard about this, because I was wondering, maybe it's super light in the package. Like when I was holding the package in the store, I was thinking maybe it's light because there's some kind of electrical thing in there, and when you push a button, it makes it light up. But I don't see anything on here, and I feel like it's one of those things that you might see on a commercial that as an adult I miss, because sometimes they put these things out for children, although this one says it's not suitable for children. But there's usually commercials out there that tell you, oh, you got to get this because it has light up or it works on electric tracks or something. But I don't know, I do not understand why this one's like $1.50. I don't, other than the Tampo, maybe you know all about this stuff and you know that Tampos, yeah, they cost a lot of money. I would love to hear your comments. Please respond to let me know. And also, if you know Japanese, this is katakana. And just comment what that is in the comments below. Have a great day. See you next Wednesday.